Today, I want to respond to a mailbag question, talk about Ohio State and the Heisman Trophy and quarterback play in 2020. And all that's coming up after the bumper.
Don't be cornering me. Hold up. Time. You got to help me with that corner shit.
What's up, kinfolk? It's RJ Young. I am not on a step mill. Consider hitting the like and subscribe button because I upload a video every single day. It's always college football related, sports related. We have a good time. Today, I want to talk about the college football playoff with the kickoff of the fourth of 5 Power 5 conferences beginning this weekend. That means the Big Ten is back. We got Ohio State versus Nebraska and Columbus on the docket. Penn State's going to beat the brakes off of Indiana. We get Michigan, Minnesota. I'm excited about this, but I'm also taking stock of what has already occurred in talking about Ohio State, Justin Fields, and what I expect from a team that is going to try to compete for the college football playoff spot, and it should basically be in there if things keep as we think they should go. Which brings me to this question posed to me by Chris Williams, who's from Indiana, says go Buckeyes, just so you are clear there. And he sent me this email and said, RJ, I heard this recently and wondered if you could use it to make a response video on your YouTube channel. This CFP is not a playoff. It is an invitational. Thanks. I enjoy your YouTube posts. I appreciate the question, Chris. It's not for everybody. It is an invitational. It is for whom they invite to participate in their 14 playoff. Central Florida would be the first group of people to tell you this. They went undefeated in 2017. They watched a one-loss Georgia get in there. They watched a one-loss Oklahoma get in there. They understand what this means. Central Florida would love for the college football playoff to be qualified, but who's doing the qualifying is a bunch of dudes on a committee saying we like this team better than we like those teams. Some of this actually has to do, I think, with TV markets and Power 5 teams and blue blood teams. Like, college football is not democratic. It has never been democratic. I would love for it to be democratic, and I think the way to do that is to expand the playoff to 16 teams. They use 24 in the FCS. It doesn't truck with who ends up playing in the national championship each and every year. That's why North Dakota State is the Alabama, Clemson, if you will, of FCS football. But you still get your Pioneer League champion in there. They go out in the first or second round. It's always San Diego. And on you goes, right? I don't see a problem with this. There are people that tell me you're going to dilute college football. Like hell, please. I think that the kids want to play. Let the scoreboards do the talking. And one of the things I absolutely hate about this sport is how you can win every game and still not be considered one of the best teams or the best team in college football. I want to see that end. I want to see that go away. I want one undisputed champion. We don't have this in the NFL. Right? People play in divisions. We understand you can go undefeated through the regular season or close to it. And then you got to do it all again in the playoffs, right? If you lose, you go home. That way we know who the champ is. That's why you see in Ohio State, a Clemson, an Oklahoma, a Notre Dame. You're never going to see a BYU in the college football playoff. It's not going to happen. You're not going to see Coastal Carolina in the college football playoff, SMU, because Central Florida can speak to this. And I want to get there by saying, look, Justin Fields is one of the greatest college football players on the face of the earth right at this moment, okay? I need to see him play like it to compete for this Heisman Trophy because I think that he has an opportunity to win it. It's just that the college football quarterback play so far has been really outstanding. For perspective here, Zach Wilson, quarterback's BYU. He ain't going to win the Heisman Trophy, and he ain't going to play in the college football playoff. Even though Brigham Young is 5-0, he's completing 78.7% of his passes for 1,641 yards. He's thrown just one INT with 12 touchdowns. He's one of the better quarterbacks in all of college football. Matter of fact, he is who Ohio State fans want Tate Martell to be, right? And if you put the 1-to-1 up there, you see what I'm talking about. Mac Jones probably has been the best quarterback, though, for my money with the competition that he's faced. He's had 3 consecutive games of over 400 yards passing or more. He's got 1,518 yards passing through these 4 games. He's thrown just 2 interceptions and 12 touchdowns. Absolutely outstanding. Shane Illingworth has showed up to take Spencer Sanders' job. He's completing 73.5% of his passes, 3 touchdowns and a pick. He's a true freshman. He ain't going to win it, but he's playing outstanding. And then Trevor Lawrence is completing 73% of his passes, 1,544 yards, 15 tutties, 4 against Georgia Tech, 400 yards against Georgia Tech, 1 interception. And then you keep going, you'll see Kyle Trask with fewer yards passing than Spencer Rattler, almost 200 yards fewer passing than Spencer Rattler, and yet he has 14 touchdowns and 1 pick. Rattler's already thrown 5 interceptions to 13 touchdowns. It's about what I expected from the redshirt freshman and the, starting quarterback at Oklahoma. But we've had some great quarterback play. Connor Bazelak at Missouri, 71% completion rate. Anthony Russo at Temple is out here dealing. Brady White has been dealing for 2 straight years, completing nearly 70% of his passes. Matt Corral only had 200 yards passing through 6 interceptions in 1 friggin' football game, but he still completed 69% of his passes. Like, we've had some outstanding play here. And if we keep going, we'll get to the guys that have really been out here making it happen. Like, we have 20 quarterbacks that are completing 64.7% of their passes or better to start the season. Justin Fields needs to play like one of those guys, all right? And I think he can. Like, the way that we talk about that wide receiving group is stacked and stacked and stacked. Like, we're not going to see enough, I think. We're not going to see enough G. Scott. We're not going to see enough Julian Fleming. We're not going to see enough Jackson Smith and Jigba. We're not going to see enough Mookie Cooper. I think that we are going to see a bunch of Garrett Wilson, right? I hope we see a bunch of Julian Fleming, but we'll see a bunch of Trey Sermon, a bunch of Master T. But what made Justin Fields so great at Ohio State last year is up until the Michigan game, he felt like a compliment to the offense. He did not feel like the dude that makes the offense go. If he is assuming more of a responsibility of making the offense go in the framework of what Ohio State does, he's going to win the Heisman Trophy because I think he's the best football team on paper right now, especially with Alabama playing piss-poor defense. But when we talk about the Heisman Trophy, I think we're also talking about who we want to win it as much as who should win it, because there's all sorts of good arguments for players in Group of 5 conferences that put up numbers. I mean, a couple years back, Darrell Henderson was that guy that people wanted to talk about winning the Heisman Trophy coming out of Memphis. When Derrick Henry won it, we're all looking at Christian McCaffrey going, what does he have to do? Well, not go to Stanford. That's about it, right? You look at what defensive players are out there doing. Like, Chase Young was the best football player in the world last year, and I'm including him ahead of Joe Burrow, and yet he wasn't going to win the Heisman Trophy because he plays defense. I think Justin Fields is in a perfect position to not only win the national championship, but to win a Heisman Trophy, which means that he would have done what Trevor Lawrence hasn't done, which is win a national championship and a Heisman Trophy in the same year. But no matter how it goes, I'm excited because the quarterback play has been outstanding this year. All right, that's it for me. Deuces.